Hey everybody, welcome back to Unscripted. Remember, our email has changed, so you can always find that in the description box if you want to let us know about any announcements you want us to make on the show. As you know, we have added a challenge section to the show. This week's challenge is the regional language test by the New York Times. So basically, it asks you questions based on what you say for certain words, certain phrases, and it puts you in a region of the United States based off of what you say. So, we're gonna do that.
Alright, what do you call the large wildcat native to the Americas? I would say mountain lion.
Okay, see this one, I was under the impression that all these were different animals. So,
They might very
mountain
well be.
lion, cougar,
They are
puma.
different animals.
Well, then why is it asking me about these?
When you see a large cat here, what do you call it?
Well, I don't know. Is it a puma or is it a panther?
Well,
I'm gonna call it what it is.
So,
if they're both large black animals, how do you know it's a puma versus a panther?
Or
Well,
black
a
bear.
mountain lion is gonna be like a tannish color. We have those in Colorado. A puma is gonna be like black.
If you were like, oh my gosh,
I have
Cougar is
results.
like an
holy
older
crud,
woman.
look at that giant cat.
Where you
You would
from?
say initially
Give me
it's
three
a,
options.
I would go mountain lion,
there you go.
but I'm just
Don't
saying.
make it difficult.
I think they're different animals.
There's a mountain lion. There's a puma. No, pumas are in the Amazon. I mean, they're so far.
Michelle doesn't know.
Other.
I got that
These
one.
are separate breeds. This
Cougar,
is not
puma,
one
panther.
cat.
That's not the same.
What is
Painter?
a catamount? Mountain lion.
Caught and caught. Oh gosh, the same.
Caught. A cat. Caught.
Say.
What do you call freshwater lobster? Often found lakes and streams. Is that what they're calling crawfish?
What do you
Freshwater
call-
lobster. I feel like they
It
can
is
start
not.
charging more. It's lobster.
What do you call a traffic?
What do you call the small gray bug that curls up in a ball when it's touched? A roly-poly!
Roly-poly.
That's a roly-poly. Roly-poly.
Roly-poly.
Sandwich that contains cold cuts, lettuce, and so on. So,
Johnny.
Oh, I got what do you call the long sandwich that contains. Ooh, it's a different test.
They're cheating.
What is a grinder?
An Italian sandwich.
How do you pronounce the words Mary, Mary, and Mary?
Mary. Have a little wait.
Hey Mary, Merry Christmas. Do you want to marry me? Like, oh my God, that's the, what? That makes me think.
The words Mary, Mary, and Mary. All the same. There we are.
It's the word Mary, and Mary. The same? Okay.
How do you pronounce
Which
the
makes sense
word?
because I did 18 years
Mary,
in Kansas
Mary,
City
Mary.
and 22 years in Tennessee.
What do you call the insect that flies around in the summer and glows in the dark?
Mary.
A lightning bug. Oh wait, a firefly.
How do you pronounce words Mary, Mary, and Mary? Does that sound any different to you? No. Well, I'm
You're
saying that
answering
it's different.
incorrect.
I'm saying it's different,
But
but
you
apparently
don't
I'm not. Let me try it again. Mary, Mary, Mary.
They all sound the
same.
same. You just
All right, then
keep
all
turning
three
your
are
voice
pronounced
out
the
at different-
same.
Traffic jam caused by other drivers slowing down to look at an accident. Rubbernecking.
A rubberneck.
Have you never heard of rubbernecking?
No!
So it's rubbernecking.
Looking at
Yeah.
it is rubbernecking.
And then it says causes a traffic jam, but I have no word for the traffic jam itself. But I do. It's a traffic jam.
Then you would click the one that says you have no word for the traffic.
But I do. Traffic jam. That's a trick
that's
question.
Oh, this is kind of right. Well, it says I'm from Huntsville.
Do you like this test?
It made me reconsider my life. That's how I say everything.
And I don't even know certain words are called. Oh, this, that.
Kitty corner.
What is that? I
Kitty
don't
wampus.
understand.
Good
Know how
job.
you feel about that.
So the consensus is it was fairly accurate for those of us that are hybrid travelers.
That's not what I was saying at all, actually.
Yeah, don't put words in her mouth.
You need to put some more mac and cheese in your mouth.
Sure will.
Does he though? Does he?
This was cool. I like this.
The questions were interesting because some of that stuff I don't
Yeah, when it
even
was,
know what some of that stuff means, so, or even think about certain questions like that.
yeah, like the yard sale one there was like so many things I hadn't heard before.
Final thoughts on this? Do you like it?
I don't like how much mine has shifted.
I don't know. It's being Southern's a weird relationship. Being proud of your Southern. Like if it had shown anywhere other than the South, I'd be really bothered. But the fact that it isn't shown more Tennessee bothers me also.
I'm just confused why mine's Texas. I've never been to Texas. I only have a few friends from Texas.
You know what they say, once you go Texas, continually blessed. Don't put that on the video. Alright, that's my thought.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
That's what we got.
Just me.
So, hi everybody. In this part of our show, we're going to be talking about the most recent interview we've had with the dean. It was actually the newspaper who had the interview, and the news channel just sat in and did a bit of recording of the interview. And so now we're going to speak on it, talk about what the interview is about, our personal opinions, our argument, and the dean's argument, and we're going to share that with you so you kind of have an insight on what's going on. So, basically, all of y'all know about the incident earlier in the year when the dean threw a pizza party for the freshmen, and we were all like, why is he doing that? Why is he throwing a pizza party for the freshmen? The whole reason why the dean threw the pizza party for the freshmen because he felt like the freshmen were being pushed around by upperclassmen and pushed to the side, and they weren't getting enough love from the upperclassmen.
When they may ask an upperclassman for some assistance, kick them to the curb. They may want to sit with upperclassmen, kick them to the curb. They want to just find out some information from upperclassmen, kick them to the curb.
And I've never seen any of that interaction with any freshmen here before. I never knew that was a problem here at NSA. We're pretty open with each other. He feels like the freshmen are being pushed around by the upperclassmen, that they're being forgotten and stuff.
I completely disagree with that because that's not true in any way. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what perspective he's viewing it from, but he's obviously seeing something in a different way. I haven't seen a single upperclassman specifically target a freshman or an underclassman, and I haven't seen that in the past 4 years that I went to the school, dude. Like, obviously, it's going to be a little bit of weird conversing with someone younger than you who's interested in different things, but like, no one's pushing anyone around.
If you feel like the freshmen are being pushed around by the seniors or the juniors or even the sophomores, then address that situation rather than rewarding them and trying to put a Band-Aid on their cut. Because you're never gonna have that. You're never gonna have that in the real world. In the beginning of the year, we had an interview with the dean about dress code, and his whole argument on that was he wants to prepare us for the real world. If you're gonna have the mindset of, oh, I want to get you ready for the real world, don't just apply that to how we look, apply that to how you manage us as well. I just feel like he needs to address the whole student body rather than one class. So, Christian here is a junior. I want to hear what Christian has to say about the situation.
Well, from the junior perspective, when it happened, a lot of people were upset, as you know, and I agree with a lot of the points you said. He's providing comfort without fixing the problem, if that's what he's doing. And that's not going to make things better. That's just going to temporarily provide satisfaction.
I mean, another one of the dean's points, just the one when he's like, I can't help what happened yesterday or something like that.
But as I always speak, what I always say, there's nothing I can do about yesterday.
Right.
So whatever didn't happen your freshman year or whatever year, there's nothing I can do about it. I won't have a pity party for that.
The two people who interviewed him was Mallory and Lucy. I'm not sure if you know them, but they're two juniors. Well, they tried to put their personal experiences and put those on the table and lay those out in front of him, and he would say, okay, well, we're not going to look at this from a personal standpoint.
Whenever you're discussing something, we're not discussing personal feelings like a needle in a haystack. We're talking about overall what's going on.
But then he would countlessly go back on how he ran a football team before he was a dean and what he did to run the football team.
Because my program when I took over it as a coach only had 20 players in it.
Right.
from me dealing with freshmen, it was.
This also goes off of his reasoning. So what he would do with the football team is like show a lot of love to the people he recruited, and now bring in more people. That's what the dean. That's what Dr. Gwynn is really aiming at. He wants the NSA population to really grow. In the video, he said that he wants to use this pizza party way as recruiting more people into NSA. He wants to make NSA the top school in Metro, and that's a great thing. That's perfect. Like, that's amazing.
Trying to increase our student population. And the way to increase your student population is to get those who are coming in first. Well, which means that our freshmen coming in first, if we set the standard for what we're going to continue to do in the future, that will get our population up, that will get us to where we are trying to be as the top school in Metro Nashville.
When you're like just rewarding freshmen or a certain amount of people, you stop really looking at them as people and just looking at them as like numbers.
We shouldn't view our students as mainly statistics.
Mm-hmm. See, if you want to grow the school, you gotta like tend to the school and all the people in it.
It's more than a football team. It's a community. I want to thank the newspaper crew for letting us sit in on the interview. I want to thank Dr. Gwynn for letting us sit on the interview. This is a really, or at least it was a really hot topic. It took us a while to address it, but we finally got our answers.
And also, we're not trying to offend anybody or attack
the
dean or any other students. Like for freshmen, it's just what we want to say.
I'm gonna say this is a segment of Unfiltered on Unscripted. So we're here today with Mrs. Randy Staggs to get more commentary on the interview and to get like a second opinion on the reasoning behind it. So his reasoning behind the pizza party, do you think that was successful? Do you think that it would bring in more people? Do you think that it was an effective way to make the freshmen feel better about being freshmen?
I don't know what you can do to make freshmen feel better about being freshmen, honestly, but I think, and I don't know that it came across in the interview that I watched with Dr. Gwynn, my understanding when he wanted to do the pizza party was a culture building kind of thing. He felt like something could be done to try to give the freshmen some fun and some culture, you know, get used to the school, have, you know, something fun infused into their day. The big picture, you know, the more students enjoy being in school here, the more word is going to spread, and that should lead to increased numbers, hopefully. I don't know that it was directly a recruiting tool kind of thing, and I think that's sort of how it came across in the video, and I think that is sort of an indirect result of doing it. That's the way I looked at it.
And yeah, he had multiple reasons why he did it, like the recruiting thing, to bring in more people, to get the word out, to get our numbers up, and also like I feel like what really made an uproar in this was him saying that the freshmen were being pushed around by upperclassmen and stuff. Do you feel like that's actually a problem here at NSA, and do you feel like that was a reasonable reaction to the problem, the pizza party being a reward for being pushed around?
You know, he hasn't been with us that long, and I think he came in, I thought it was, I loved the idea of the freshmen, the pizza party for the freshmen. I think it's more of a traditional line of thinking of how freshmen are treated at other schools and maybe what he has seen before. I don't think he had seen enough of our students at that point in his tenure here to make an accurate assessment of that, because I certainly don't see our upperclassmen abusing our freshmen.
Yes.
So.
I just feel like, yeah, he probably just didn't get a good feel of the school yet, and he's bringing other stereotypes from other high schools into NSA.
I think for that statement, yes, I think that's accurate.
Yes, okay. So, on the very beginning of the year, we had an interview with him about the dress code, correct? Yes. And, yeah, his reasoning behind that was to get us prepared for the real world. But then, I feel like the script was flipped when we got to this subject. If the dean is going to have the mindset, oh, we're going to prepare you for the real world, then by doing so, I don't feel like we should reward a pizza party for being a freshman.
Now let me jump in on that, because I agree, you're right. When you start a new job, you don't get a pizza party. But with any new job, or even when you go to college, there are procedures and structures in place for you to get acclimated to your
That is
new
true.
thing. So I think he felt like we weren't doing enough to acclimate our freshmen.
Okay.
You know, we implemented freshman seminar this year. You know, last year we had all of those things in place for performances where the students got to perform for each other. There were a lot of really kind of fun things. I feel like as a school, since we don't have sports, sometimes we're a little lacking on the just fun
side.
So I think that was his way of, okay, let's start with the freshmen and let's infuse something fun. You know, would it be great for us to do something for the other classes as well? Yes, and I feel like maybe we dropped the ball on that a little bit. We shouldn't just focus on one class, but he's doing what he can do to, okay, let's start here, baby steps, and let's try to incorporate some just fun culture building, community building things.
Okay, that's understood.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why we said that is because, like, the freshmen already had freshman seminar and they had things to really integrate themselves with each other and become a more tight-knit class. But, I mean, the overall argument here is if we want to make NSA more of a community, then we need to act on that. And instead of just having the freshman class just being together, we should incorporate all the classes together. Thank you for your time. It was really a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's up? I don't really do this often, but you know, you should subscribe. It's fun. Like and share with your friends, family, you know. That's how we do. NSA. Unscripted. Boom.